Other ways I can describe these two figures: this is Kevin Hart, and this is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. This is Mike Lowry, and this is Marcus Burnett. Batman and Rock, you get the picture. Hello and welcome back to another action figure comparison episode on KenOhWee Channel. It's a special video to address the struggles of some collectors who has a hard time choosing between the two figures to purchase when you only have enough funds for one. Which is why this video is for you, and today I'll be featuring our favorite assassin from the DC universe, which was featured in the Suicide Squad movie, and I'm bringing in the two popular toy line once again, Bandai's S.H Figuarts line versus the Medicom Toys Mafex line. So without further ado, nitpicky hat on and let's bring on the heat. Character representation. Bringing up the two faces and the original picture in the middle, I'd say it all comes down to personal preference. In S.H Figuarts' defense, it's kind of a cheat for Mafex since they've utilized the left eye to have the eyepiece, then they'd only had 3/4 of his face to work with, while S.H Figuarts got the entire face, which would be more subjected to criticism. So for me personally, of course I go for Mafex, not only cause it looks just a little bit more accurate for me, but it also got the fierce look and the eyepiece, which just brings the killer's aura to the figure, while the S.H Figuarts just looks a little sad or even nervous, and it definitely brings down Deadshot's charisma. But I can imagine if you want to make a stop motion story of Deadshot before he became a ruthless assassin, then S.H Figuarts' face would be perfect for that. Hey, tell me about your first time. A first time, huh? Close enough. You monster. Attention to detail. Even though both figures are very nicely sculpted, there's just more detail added on the Mafex that just gives it that extra edge. Most noticeably his quote, which is missing from the S.H Figuarts figure but present on the Mafex figure, on the collar and also on his forearm weapon, and other not so noticeable details but is present on the Mafex figure, such as the highlight on the buckle, bolts on his ammunition pouches on his belt, the grooves colored on the ammunitions, the screws on the gun pouch, bolts on his back armor and gun pouch at the back, a few dents on his chest armor, some weathering on his knee guard, although S.H Figuarts highlighted the bolts on theirs. Also in terms of color, S.H Figuarts opted for a different shade of grey for his armor and pouches, so it pops out from the black, but their mistake is painting the shoulder guard and the eyepiece in metallic silver, and that is not how it's represented in the movies, while Mafex just went dark on his armor, making the red pop out more, and they were more accurate on the eyepiece and shoulder armor. So overall, again, it all comes down to what you want in your Deadshot figure. If you want a clean looking first timer who has never experienced the battle, then S.H Figuarts is the one for you. But if you want someone who's a more experienced assassin who's taken a few hits, then Mafex is the obvious choice. What I can do that you can't. So looking at what S.H Figuarts can do first, his masked head accessory has an additional cut on his head, which allows more movement compared to the Mafex head accessory, which is one solid piece. His ammunition pouches on his belt are connected on the ball joint so he can move around. His lower ab cut is above the belt, and his lower abdomen piece is also on the ball joint to allow more room for ab movements, but unfortunately it hinders his crunch a little bit, but side to side works wonders. His leg pouch can be taken out as well as his shift pouch. As for Mafex, his ammunition pouches on his belt can't be moved, but his lower ab connection starts below the belt. Crunching forward moves the entire upper body and lower ab body, including the belt, down, so you have more crunch there. And they have another piece on the upper ab armor, so arching backwards to the max won't have the disconnect you'll have on the S.H Figuarts figure. His back pouch can be moved as well as the ammunition pouches on his left leg to allow more range of movement for his high kicks. And the best feature of what this figure can do that the S.H Figuarts figure can't: removable weapons. He can take off both his guns at the back, the custom gun from the right, and also the shift. Again, it comes down to personal preference when it comes to what design decision you think is better for the figure, but I have to go for Mafex on this one. It just has more things that are meant to be taken out while other accessories remain on his body, while S.H Figuarts got it the other way around. Build quality. S.H Figuarts has always been keeping their quality check on their figures, and this figure is no exception. It's much sturdier, joints are much tighter, and it feels really solid on the hands. Mafex on the other hand has been improving on their figures lately and is evident on this figure, but unfortunately for my figure, the mid area is still a little loose, and because of that he always looks like he's hunching to one side, and it's a lot harder to balance this figure compared to the S.H Figuarts. So because of that, I'd say S.H Figuarts win this round. Articulation. Now towards my favorite segment, which showcases their articulation instead of talking about them all over again. It's the Cheerleaders Challenge. The Assassin's Bow. Look up to the stars. Slept at the wrong side of the bed. The Victory Dance. Holding in your pee. Checking your boots for dog excrements. Becoming a swan. The Crotch Killer. The Groin Tear. The Crouching Tiger. Check out my guns. The Kawaii Killer. The Fresh Prince of Bel Air. So in summary, both of them can do a lot of crazy poses. It just takes a bit of repositioning for both figures. Scale. We know S.H Figuarts figures are relatively short and Mafex Deadshot was surprisingly tall. So this is how they look standing next to other figures in other lines. I wonder when they'll get the scales right. Armory. You probably already guessed it from the fact S.H Figuarts has non-removable weapons, but take all of that away, Mafex still has 3 more additional hands and a stand. So already Mafex won the round based on the amount of accessories given, but comparing the accessories that they do have, starting with the custom rifle gun. Below is the S.H Figuarts rifle, and already you can tell the Mafex weapon has a lot more detail than the S.H Figuarts weapon, such as the quote on the barrel, the gold target painted, and just a few more paint to make the details pop from the Mafex rifle. Also, the scope is painted a lot more accurate while S.H Figuarts just went for gold everywhere. Next up is the masked head accessory. If you didn't have the Mafex accessory next to it, you think S.H Figuarts head accessory is white as well, but now comparing between the two, S.H Figuarts head is a lot darker, almost to the point of grey instead of white, and the eyepieces for both accessories are sculpted really nicely, but Mafex got it more accurately in terms of paint application, as S.H Figuarts just went for metallic silver. Overall, even without factoring the additional hands and weapons, the Mafex package still had the better accessory, detail-wise, in comparison to S.H Figuarts. Price. Depending on which website you go to, S.H Figuarts comes in at roughly around 6480 yen and Mafex just around 6265 yen. So to sum it all up, S.H Figuarts does have a better build quality and is more sturdy, but Mafex has improved a lot on theirs as well, and it's a good thing this figure was the better one, and even though it's slightly on the taller side, coupled with the amount of accessories given to the Mafex package and how accurate and detailed the figure turned out, it is definitely the better Deadshot figure between the two, in my humble opinion. But of course, with action figures, it all comes down to personal preference, and I'm sure you have fun with either one of them, whichever one you choose to have. But I still hope this video was still informative and you still enjoyed it. If you did, please help leave a like and subscribe for more content and help me achieve my 10,000 sub goal. I'd still like to hear your thoughts on these figures in the comment section down below. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope you guys are embracing your inner geek and having an amazing week. Stay awesome, take care, and I'll see you guys at the next video. Click here for video 1. Click here for video 2. Click here to subscribe. Click it. Thank you for watching. Arigato. Thank you.